In a world shrouded by the shadows of doubt and despair, a single light emerged, a beacon of hope and divine power. This is the story of the miracles of Jesus Christ. Acts that defied the laws of nature and revealed the boundless love of God. His journey was not just one of teachings, but of tangible wonders that transformed lives and reshaped the very fabric of reality. Imagine the scene. A man born blind had never seen the light of day, the face of a loved one, or the colors of the world. Jesus approached him not with elaborate rituals, but with simple clay made from spittle and dust. He anointed the man's eyes and told him to wash. The man obeyed, and as the water cleansed his eyes, a miracle unfolded. For the first time, he saw. Light flooded his senses, a testament to the power that can bring sight to the blind, both physically and spiritually. As it is written, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Then, there were those trapped in the prison of their own bodies, afflicted with diseases that man could not cure. A woman who had suffered from a hemorrhage for 12 long years spent all she had on physicians, yet only grew worse. Hearing of Jesus, she thought, "If I can just touch his clothes, I will be healed." Pushing through the crowd, her trembling hand reached out and touched the edge of his garment. Instantly, the bleeding stopped. Jesus felt power go out from him and asked who had touched him. Full of fear and trembling, the woman came forward and told him the whole truth. He looked at her with compassion and said, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." And what of the lepers? Outcasts, forced to live in isolation, their bodies ravaged by a relentless disease. One day a leper approached Jesus, fell to his knees and pleaded, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Moved with compassion, Jesus reached out his hand and touched the manna-forbidden act that defied social and religious law. "I am willing," he said. "Be clean." Immediately, the leprosy left him, and his skin was restored, as pure as a child's. In that single touch, Jesus not only healed a body, but restored a soul to his community, demonstrating that no one is beyond the reach of God's love. His power was not limited to the human body. It extended over the very elements of creation. One evening, Jesus and his disciples were on a boat crossing the Sea of Galilee. A furious storm arose, and the waves crashed over the boat, threatening to swallow them whole. The disciples, seasoned fishermen, were terrified. They woke Jesus, who was sleeping peacefully, crying out, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He stood up, and with a voice that commanded the cosmos, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. The disciples were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." In that same sea, another miracle would astound them. The disciples were rowing against a strong wind late at night, far from land. Suddenly, they saw a figure walking on the water, coming towards them. Thinking it was a ghost, they cried out in fear. But a familiar voice cut through the wind in their terror. "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." Peter, ever impulsive, called out, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus replied. Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and, beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You have little faith," he said. "Why did you doubt?" When they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Jesus' compassion extended to the basic needs of humanity. He saw a large crowd following him for days, hungry and without food. He asked his disciples, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" They were at a loss, having only 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, hardly enough for themselves. But Jesus told the disciples to have the people sit down. He then took the loaves and fish, gave thanks to God, and distributed them. Miraculously, the food multiplied. Everyone ate until they were full. And when they were done, the disciples collected 12 baskets of leftovers, far more than what they started with. From scarcity, abundance flowed, a powerful symbol of how God provides for his children. Demonic oppression was a grim reality for many, a spiritual bondage that stole life and identity. In the region of the Gerasenes, Jesus was met by a man possessed by a legion of demons. This man lived among the tombs, and no one could restrain him. He would cry out day and night, a torment to himself and others. When he saw Jesus, he ran and fell on his knees before him. Jesus commanded the impure spirits to come out of the man. The demons begged to be sent into a herd of pigs nearby. Jesus gave them permission, and the spirits entered the pigs, which then rushed down a steep bank into the lake and were drowned. The townspeople came out and saw the man who had been possessed, now sitting there, dressed and in his right mind. Fear seized them, but for the man, it was the dawn of a new life, a freedom he had never known. But perhaps the most profound of his miracles was the one that conquered the final enemy, death itself. Lazarus, a dear friend of Jesus, had fallen ill and died. By the time Jesus arrived in Bethany, Lazarus had been in the tomb for 4 days. Sister Martha met Jesus with a heart full of grief, saying, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus assured her, "Your brother will rise again." He went to the tomb, a cave with a stone laid across the entrance, and commanded, "Take away the stone." Despite Martha's protest about the odor, they obeyed. Jesus then looked up to heaven and prayed. With a loud voice he called out, "Lazarus, come out!" The man who was dead came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. "Take off the grave clothes and let him go," Jesus said. In that moment, death lost its sting, and the promise of resurrection became a breathtaking reality. Each miracle was more than just a spectacle. It was a sign, a glimpse into the heart of God. From turning water into wine at a wedding feast, his first public miracle, to healing the sick, feeding the hungry, and raising the dead. Jesus demonstrated a power that was rooted in love and a compassion that knew no bounds. These acts were not just historical events. They are living testimonies of a God who intervenes, who cares, and who has the power to bring light into our darkest moments. They invite us to look beyond what we can see, to trust in what we cannot explain, and to have faith in the one who holds all things in his hands. The miracles of Jesus Christ are not just stories of the past. They are promises for our present and hope for our future. They remind us that with God, nothing is impossible. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the inspiring miracles of Jesus. If this story has touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content that strengthens faith and inspires hope. May you carry the wonder of these miracles with you always,